This society is so goddamn broken, and it's all because of the fiat money. And, I do believe there's a God, and I do believe he's going to come down and wreak vengeance on all these fiat assholes. I mean, he's going to he's going to make this fiat money worthless. And, then the rest of us, the remnant of this country, the people who are the workers and the honest folks, we're going to rise back up, and we're going to start transacting with each other and adding value, and we're going to use an honest currency to do it. And the most logical, honest currency with which to do it is Bitcoin. And that's what's going to happen. My first advice to anybody is, if you're not involved with Bitcoin, you got to get involved with Bitcoin. You got to go to Bitcoin meetups. You got to talk to Bitcoin people, because we all get it.
In an interview with podcaster Walker, Lawrence Lepard predicted that Bitcoin would see fast acceptance and a financial system reset spawn. He discussed the shortcomings of the current fiat currency system, the value of sound money, and the possibility that Bitcoin would overtake other currencies in the market. According to Lawrence Lepard, Bitcoin will take off rapidly. With El Salvador having adopted Bitcoin and more powerful nations now taking a closer look at it, he observes that Nashville felt like a turning point. Lepard brings up the acceptance of Bitcoin ETFs, which, in his opinion, disproves the claim that the government would destroy Bitcoin. He discusses the math underlying the US debt, interest rates, and deficit, and predicts a collapse. Lepard thinks this will cause a reset, and Bitcoin will become a reliable form of money. He points out that while most people view gold as a reliable form of money, Bitcoin is superior. According to Lepard, despite a decline in ETF purchases, gold prices are steady because nations are trading in their currencies and net settling in the metal. He anticipates a reset between 2028 and 2035, with Bitcoin emerging as a dominant currency. Watch clips from the interview for further insights into Lawrence Lepard's conversation with Walker. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more content. Enjoy the video.
We're on the cusp of that really rapid adoption, in my opinion, kind of the Malcolm Gladwell curve, where you get to a 10% inflection point, and then boom, everybody knows that you need it. I mean, that's what Nashville felt like to me. I mean, a couple of years before, we were all down there, cheering on, Jack as he had orange-pilled Bukele, and, El Salvador was going to go on the Bitcoin standard. And that was fabulous. We had a nation state. I mean, now we've got the biggest nation state talking about it. You got Lummis introducing a bill, et cetera, et cetera. So, you got Jason Lowry being cited in RFK's speech. I mean, the strategic importance of it. So, you've got the ETFs. I mean, since, you and I have last done a podcast, I mean, the ETFs have been approved. I mean, as Saylor pointed out, and I know this was to be true of me too, when I would try and orange pill wealthy friends, their response, even if I could get them to accept the premise that it was a good thing, their response was, yeah, but the government's going to kill it. Well, the government just approved an ETF, So, that argument's kind of off the table. Now, look, when it gets to be existential and they realize the dollar is failing, and particularly if Kamala wins and Warren is her Treasury Secretary, maybe we've got a 6102 risk. But, for now anyway, the government is, in my view, being pretty friendly towards it. So let's just talk about kind of the math here. I mean, so as we all know, when they run a deficit, they have to pay for it. To pay for it, they have to issue debt. And somebody's got to buy that debt. You got to find a sucker at the card table, as Groman says. And so, and in the past, it was a petrodollar, and originally the Saudis and all those guys would recycle the debt. And then it became China, when we let them into the WTO in exchange for them buying the debt. But all those guys aren't buying the debt anymore. And so, what happens is we're having a hard time finding buyers for the debt. And what that means is that intrinsically interest rates go up. And if interest rates go up, then that makes the deficit larger. And the deficit being larger means you got to sell more debt. But selling more debt makes the interest rates go up more. So you can kind of see where I'm going here. It's rinse, wash, repeat until the whole damn thing blows up. This society is so goddamn broken, and it's all because of the fiat money. And, I do believe there's a God, and I do believe he's going to come down and wreak vengeance on all these fiat assholes. I mean, he's going to make this fiat money worthless. And, then the rest of us, the remnant of this country, the people who are the workers and the honest folks, we're going to rise back up, and we're going to start transacting with each other and adding value, and we're going to use an honest currency to do it. And the most logical, honest currency with which to do it is Bitcoin. My prediction today is that this is all going to get sorted out between 2028 and 2035. Nobody in the world is really running a sound money standard. So that really doesn't matter. What matters is the dollar cross to gold and the dollar cross to Bitcoin. I mean, and those are the two clues that tell you, I mean, if Bitcoin's at $500,000 a coin and gold's at $10,000 an ounce, well, guess what? The dollar is failing on an absolute basis. So let's kind of touch there into another area that I think is relevant, which is we're seeing, and this is big to me, in the United States. I mean, and you have to remember, we all believe Bitcoin's a solution, and it is. It's much better than gold. But, I mean, most people aren't where we are. Most people, in governments who are thinking, okay, we got to do a reset or we got to go back to sound money, the first thing that comes to their mind is gold. I mean, a perfect example, this is a really nice lady, and she's very smart, named Judy Shelton, who was nominated for the Fed. She's a sound money person. And if we're going to do a reset, it would be a reset to gold. And what you're seeing out there right now is you're kind of seeing that happen subtly but consistently. And what I mean to say is that everything, all trade used to be in dollars, but you're seeing now countries trading with each other in their own currencies and then net settling in gold. And that's why what's very interesting to me is that the gold price has been very strong in spite of the fact that gold ETF purchasing has gone down. I mean, the Bitcoin ETFs have eaten gold's lunch, right? Bitcoin ETFs have gone from nothing to being substantial in size. Gold ETFs have been shrinking the whole time. Okay, you look at that and you would think to yourself, well, the price of gold should be going down, but it's not. I mean, yesterday the price of gold traded at a new all-time intraday high at 2458 or something. But and the reason for that is that other countries are using gold. They are using gold as their neutral reserve asset. They realize that having the dollar as a neutral reserve asset is a losing proposition. In other words, they're
citing MicroStrategy's success. Lawrence Lepard explores the winning strategy of buying Bitcoin and producing fiat cash. Though he thinks the EU is unlikely to follow, other nations will. Lepard strongly emphasizes comprehending the problem and choosing to leave the current elite-favored system. The 99% are opposed to the 1% who control the monetary system, and this is not a party issue. Regular people, including pensioners, have suffered due to Federal Reserve policies, such as interest rate fixing. Creating a stable monetary system and regaining control is possible with Bitcoin. Lepard is upbeat, referring to Bitcoin as a source of hope and urging participation in the community to effect change. He thinks that coming generations will have a similar skeptical attitude toward the current system, similar to outdated medical practices like bloodletting. Let's go back to the interview and watch more clips to gain insights from Lawrence Lepard.
The real winning strategy, as Saylor points out, is a country that can issue fiat and buy Bitcoin. I mean, good God, what a deal. It's
what a trade.
Taylor is really just doing the Hugo Stinnes strategy of, he's issuing claims in something that he knows isn't going to go down in value, and he's buying the thing that he knows is going to go up in value. I mean, it's just like a turn the crank kind of money machine, which is why MicroStrategy is such a fabulous stock. My fund owns it, and I own it personally, and so on and so forth. I mean, it really is brilliant. So I would imagine that other smart countries will pick up on it. But, the whole EU, I mean, no, they're all stupid as shit. I mean, they're not going to get it. I mean, I don't think you're going to see anybody there pick up on it anytime soon. Speaking to Jeff, Booth, a couple of weeks ago, I mean, he said, Larry, if we could get everybody to use Bitcoin, this thing would collapse instantly. And he's right. But, we're a long way from that point, right? So the book is my contribution to trying to get everyone to understand what's going on and then to be pissed off and then to choose to opt out of the system like you and I have and to fight for a fairer system. So that's going to be the message.
It's like, it's my team against your team, my color against your color. That's all a distraction game.
Absolutely. That's a complete Hegelian dialect where they're just trying to get you to fight with each other so you don't focus on them. No, I'll tell you who it is. It's the 99% against the 1%, right? I mean, that's really the issue. I mean, we got to grab the power back that we should rightly have, which is to have a sound monetary system, and that got stolen from us in 1913 when the Federal Reserve was created. That's what we've got to do. And so, it's not red-blue. It's all of us against the elites who are running a system where the game board is tilted in their favor heavily. That's the problem. I mean, It's so clear. Our grandkids are going to look back at this like, like we look back at bloodletting, right? I mean, they were draining blood to help people medically, in the Middle Ages. And I mean, it was barbaric and it was absurd. And our kids, grandkids will look back at this and they'll have the same reaction. Hang on a second. Everyone knows free markets are what provide prosperity. And you let the market for money, you let that be set by 12 guys who could rig it in their favor? What the f were you doing? That was insane. I mean, in my lifetime, I mean, we've had 0% interest rates. We've had 20% interest rates. The 20% interest rates almost bankrupted my father's business. I mean, really close. It was very stressful in our family at that time. I remember it very well. And then we've had 0% interest rates, which totally hammered all the savers. I mean, so, and I know people like this. I mean, my in-laws fall in this bucket. You save your entire life. You've got some number, I don't know, if it's 200,000 or a million, whatever it is, your life savings, you're retired and you put it, you used to be able to, before ZIRP, you used to be able to put it in a bank CD and earn 5 or 6%. And that helped supplement your Social Security. And if you lived frugally and your house was paid for, you're okay. Well, when ZIRP came along, all those people, their income went to zero. Their interest income went to zero. Did the Federal Reserve care? No, they didn't give a shit. They wanted to save Wall Street and they wanted to get the economy going again. And tough shit. All you retired people who are saving money, well, f you. We're not going to let you have any interest income. I mean, what the f? I mean, 0% interest rates is a tautology. I mean, if you're saying money won't pay any interest, you're basically saying money has no value.
What makes you hopeful?
I'm incredibly hopeful. Yeah, well, what makes me hopeful? So Bitcoin is the biggest source of hope in the world, first of all. And hanging out with Bitcoiners will get you hopeful no matter what. So my first advice to anybody is if you're not involved with Bitcoin, you got to get involved with Bitcoin. You got to go to Bitcoin meetups. You got to talk to Bitcoin people because we all get it. And I know that's a very self-serving comment, but being involved in the Bitcoin community has changed my life. I mean, I'd be depressed if I didn't realize there's a way out. How fast the way out happens? Well, okay, as we said, this could be tough, but I'd rather be on the right side.
Fears of a possible U.S. recession caused the prices of Ether and Bitcoin to fall to multi-month lows on Monday. Only a few days ago, optimism stoked by Donald Trump's speech propelled Bitcoin above $70,000. But this decline represents a startling reversal. This year, the cryptocurrency market experienced a surge following the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's approval of exchange-traded funds that tracked the prices of Ether and Bitcoin. Nonetheless, worries about a U.S. recession and escalating geopolitical tensions have caused global equities and cryptocurrency values to drop. With its record high in March, Bitcoin has lost more than 1/3 of its value, and its status as a safe haven asset has been weakened by its growing link with equities. According to market analyst Tony Sycamore, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are risky investments falling sharply. Though Ether dropped as much as 21% to its lowest level since January, Bitcoin plummeted 12% to $49,000, on course for its biggest one-day decline since November 2022. Sycamore cautions that more capitulation towards $48,000 may result if Bitcoin cannot maintain the $54,000, $53,000 support level. U.S. equities linked to the cryptocurrency industry have also been affected by the downturn. Miners CleanSpark, Bitfarms, Riot Platforms, and Marathon Digital had their shares drop between 12% and 18% before Monday's opening. Due to investors' rising perception of Bitcoin and Ether as risky assets, the sell-off emphasizes the developing link between traditional markets and cryptocurrency. As we conclude, what are your thoughts on this interview? In your opinion, when will Bitcoin overcome fiat? Please drop your thoughts in the comments below, share this video, and hit your thumbs on the like button. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.